Hello, welcome back to the Unqualified Film Bros. I'm your usual host, Aidan, and I got three lovely guests here with me today. Uh, we got George, who just really, really loves all teams from the New York area, just every single one of them. Huge Jets guy, huge Brooklyn Nets guy. We got Max, who is in med school. So really, really proud for him. Hope he becomes a doctor one day real soon. And then we got, the best drummer in the DC area. We got Ben.
Drums are my thing. I
Yeah.
I can do drums.
Yep. When I think Ben Green, I think drums.
That's exactly what I think too.
Yep. Okay. So we are here to play not funky films because George wins that too much. We're
I'm
here
so
to
good at
play
it.
another trivia game here. This is going to work a little differently though than the other games we've done in person or on Zoom, where it would just be first one to raise their hand. This one's going to be a little bit more like bar trivia, where I'm going to read the question, I'll put it on screen as well, and then they'll have 30 seconds to a minute to text me an answer. Um, I'll read out the correct answer and then give anyone who got it right a point. No points off for getting the wrong answer because that would leave you all probably with negative numbers.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
I'm
whoa.
just I
Jackass.
don't
Okay.
I listen. So there's 16 questions here. I would love like if I hope the winner gets more than half right. I think some of them might be a little tough. We'll see.
I
We'll
think I'm
see.
gonna come in at a nice four. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah,
Max,
we'll
I
see how
have
this
the
goes.
utmost confidence in you.
I don't.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna get negative 16.
That's the spirit, Ben. All right. Any other questions before we begin?
Do they have to be about the game?
I guess not.
What am I doing tomorrow?
I mean, probably working at your job in local news.
Yeah.
I don't know what the lead story is going to be. Probably something stupid that our government does.
Oh God, I hope I don't have to do a show tomorrow. Just kidding. I would love to do a show tomorrow. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And if any of you watching along at home have any questions, just leave those down in the comments, and we'll get to them as soon as this video is live. All right. So with that, I will share my screen here. Put a bunch of blank slides at the beginning so that I wouldn't spoil the answers.
Very smart. Very
Oh
smart.
shit,
Yep.
it's trivia.
It is trivia. I hope that's not news.
It's kind of a surprise to me.
It's
Oh,
my lead story tomorrow.
Bit of a spoiler.
yeah, that's kind of the whole thing we're going to be doing here. Um, I do think I need
We
to
should all get
rearrange.
whiteboards, so we have to hold up the answers. So it really is like bar trivia.
That would be. I did that. I did.
I'm gonna draw a
Prices.
dick.
Benjamin.
I mean that.
It's a
I
family
will.
podcast.
Yeah. Small spoiler. A dick is
What?
not the correct answer to any of these questions. Um,
It's -1 for Ben.
Yep. I did a Price is Right game a week or two ago, and I really wish that my contestants had all had whiteboards. It was tough to a couple of them were holding their phones up to the camera with their scores. That was not ideal. Anyway, we're gonna get going with question one here. Oh yeah, I remember what the question is, but I don't remember all the words. So here we go. Oop, why are we not? There we go. In Avengers Endgame, Robert Downey Jr. set the record for most appearances as the same superhero. Who did he pass for that record? Robert Downey Jr. obviously was Iron Man in a lot of movies, specifically Marvel movies. So how many?
It's gonna be weird looking back on our text conversation, just
Yeah, it's gonna be
having a full
16.
conversation, and then the next text after what you sent is my answer to this question.
Right. 16 texts in a row of just actor and movie names. All right, I got two answers in. Still waiting on Ben.
You
Um,
said- Wait,
Bang.
am I saying the actor?
yes, you're saying the actor. You can tell me who they played if you want.
We don't get
I
extra
would
points
hope that
for
you would
stuffing
know
up
who they
Ben.
played if they had that many appearances.
I have no
That is
idea.
true. Yeah. All right.
Let's see.
All the answers are in. So the correct answer, two of you got it. Hugh Jackman, who played Wolverine.
Um,
Ben, you had the right franchise. I assume. I assume you were not thinking of him as Picard. Ben said
No,
Patrick Stewart.
he's a superhero, right? That's gotta win.
Jean-Luc Picard is a superhero. I don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
All right. So we got 1-1
I should have
0.
figured that one out.
Ben is setting up for his trademark late game comeback. And we move
I,
on
for,
to question 2.
I forgot about Wolverine Origins.
Francis Ford Coppola made Megalopolis out of his own pocket. Name one of the other 2 movies he has financed himself.
Ooh.
I was surprised that he had done that twice. Um, one of them I think is pretty famous. The other one, again, I'm not trying to give hints here, just trying to stall for time so we don't have awkward blocks of silence.
There are 2 that I'm thinking of, and I'm pretty sure only one of them is the right answer.
Well, there are 2 potential right answers. So, um,
My answer's in.
yeah, all right. I mean, no, I'm gonna say just give me one movie.
No nerd point.
Okay,
No,
so just one.
yeah, just one of the 2. So whichever one you feel more confident about. I will eat an enormous Sour Patch.
Your zoom window
Okay.
is very small on my screen, but I could tell how big that was.
Yeah, they are that one's bent. Double size.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The chunky boy.
Yeah. All
Aiden, do you
right.
like the Sour Patch Kids or the Sour Patch Watermelons better?
I like the watermelons, or no, sorry. I like the kids in general because they are more sour and they have more diverse flavors.
I agree.
But
Just
I
gonna
also do
clip
enjoy
that soundbite out of context.
I mean, whatever our well-paid editor wants to do in his or her free time is up to them. All right, we do have all the answers in. So the correct answers are Apocalypse Now and One from the Heart. So George and Ben, you got that one right. Perfect 2 out of 3 yet again.
George, did you go for one from the heart? That seems.
I was thinking either Apocalypse Now or Godfather 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No, that
Godfather also makes sense. That was Max's guess, one of the parts of The Godfather. Um, but
Max, did you text one of the parts of The Godfather?
Yeah.
one of.
No, I said The Godfather Part 2 because I tried to get a little cute with
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I was like,
I feel like that would be the one least likely to be
that's what
greenlit,
I was
or least
thinking
likely to
too,
be
but then
self-funded.
right, but then I was like, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But it's okay. I was wrong either way, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, I'm glad the studio paid for The Godfathers.
I am too.
Because yeah.
I am too.
Anyway. All right, on to question 3 here. In The Beekeeper, what is the reason
Yes.
Adam Clay's birthday is listed as July
Oh,
26th,
fuck.
1987?
What?
There's no fucking way, man.
It's it's a pretty no, I'm not gonna give you a hint. You're all gonna be kicking yourselves when you see the answer though. So take a little bit to think about it. Why a character might have that or any particular birthday in a movie. Um, yeah, and I'll just sit here on my phone open waiting for your texts like I do every night.
I have a really funny answer that I want to throw out there, but I know it's not right.
I mean, it's worth a shot if you got nothing else. That's what I do with my trivia team every week. If we're
Come on.
actually that's usually not it, but anyway. Yep. Waiting on those
All right. This is-
we got all right, I see some typing going on. And
This cannot possibly be right.
we'll see. George, I love that guess.
It's so wrong.
All right, we got all your answers are in. We stay a perfect 2 for 3 again. The answer is that's Jason Statham's real birthday.
this is-
So Max and Ben both get that right. And we are at 2s across the board through 3 questions.
Can I say what my answer was?
Yeah, please do, George.
I guessed that July 26th was the day B movie came out.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh my God.
Yeah, we should look up the real release date, and I don't know, maybe we can drop that bit of
I'm
lore.
looking it up right now.
Yeah.
Hey, when did The Beekeeper come out?
It was like a year and a half ago, a
2024?
year ago.
Well,
Winter
yeah,
time
but
now? Yeah, it was winter time, I think. I remember seeing a poster for it
okay.
coming in from the
B
cold.
movie released in the US November 2nd, 2007.
No,
About
no.
40 years
No,
after Adam Clay's birthday, Jason
I
Statham's
think
birthday,
it was
whatever.
the 1967 that got me. It was like, I mean, that's not a
Yeah.
release date.
Yeah.
When in
Certainly
the
not
movie did they
us.
talk about his birthday?
It
What?
appears as like his file appears somewhere on screen or a physical one and just happens to include his birthday. Um, and I just found that bit of trivia that's Jason Statham's real birthday. So
crazy.
makes perfect
That's
sense.
funny.
All right, on to question four, where two of you will get it right and one of you will get it wrong. How many times does Nosferatu blink in the original 1922 film? Again, no
Excuse
hints,
me?
but it's not, what you'd expect for a normal human. Otherwise, that would not be a countable answer.
Wait, what?
I'm saying, like, if you counted how
Infinity?
many times a normal actor blinks in a movie, it would be like not an interesting or countable answer. So, um, you know, like if you watched, say, Jason Statham in The Beekeeper, how many times he blinked, it would be, probably several thousand, which would not be an interesting trivia question.
I understand.
Yeah.
I get
I'd like
it.
to think you watched all of the movies for the pod and all of the related movies that you're doing trivia for and counted how many times every character blinked.
I
Yeah, I
mean, yeah,
want
obviously.
accountability here.
Yeah. I would expect nothing less from the diligent hosts of this podcast. Um,
Who we established earlier in this episode is you.
yes, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
obviously, I'm the regular host of this.
Hmm.
That's why I've got our logo in the background here.
The battery. Yes, that is our logo.
Yeah. All right. So unfortunately, here we got our first antisocial. I assume this was an editing mistake, but Nosferatu does in fact blink
Oh,
once.
No.
Yeah. All of you very naturally guessed zero. But there's just that one moment. I was looking up, the modern movie that you all recently watched for the pod,
I believe he blinks.
and found this bit of trivia. Yeah. And there's a scene in the new one where Lucy, no, her name's not Lucy. Is it? No, that's in Dracula. Um, but where the character's under Nosferatu's spell and does not blink, kind of in reference or tribute to this. So anyway, still tied at two through four
oh.
questions, and we will move on to question five. With Dune Part 2 and A Complete Unknown, Timothée Chalamet is the first actor to play the lead in multiple Best Picture Academy Award nominated films in the same year since 2011. Who was that actor to do that? Um, I'll say I'll say a bonus point if you name both films.
Mm.
So, um, yeah, Dune Part 2, Complete Unknown. Would love to see those two characters swap films and just see how things would have played out.
Paul Atreides in 1963 Brooklyn.
Yeah, how would the Kwisatz Haderach have done in the East Village?
My name is Bob Muad'Dib Dillon, Duke of Arrakis.
Hey, free man, we're gonna take over House Harkonnen. Is
He plays the guitar on the back of the sandworm.
that wait? He thumps on the guitar, the acoustic guitar to get the snare.
No, no, no. He does that, but he summons the Rat King from the sewers of New York.
All right, we got one answer in.
The Fremen live in the
And
subways. No? All right,
sorry,
fine.
I didn't hear the first part.
The who? The
I
Fremen live in
said
the
the
subway.
Fremen live in the subways.
Oh yeah, yeah, obviously they're Would it be Fremen versus established politicians or the mafia? Who would be their opponents in
Oh,
the
the Mafia.
yeah, especially in the time that Dylan was in, where
No, the answer is Eric Adams.
I don't know. I feel like the Fremen might be somewhat allied to the government of Turkey, though.
Yeah, probably.
All right, Ben, we are still waiting on an answer from you. Gonna need that in pretty short order.
All right. Uh,
Not to call you out, but
yeah, no, I'm trying to think. All right. Actor, okay. I don't know.
And
Let me
nerd
see.
point for the movies.
yeah.
I don't know. I've given up. I'm sending this in.
Okay. Ben's guess was Mark Wahlberg. All right. So unfortunately, we flipped the script now. We've totally gone off scripts. Two of you got it wrong. One of you got it right.
Mhm.
George gets the correct answer and the nerd point for Brad Pitt in
Oh, that's
Moneyball
devastating.
and the Tree of Life.
Tree
Yeah.
of Life. What is that? That's
Listen,
The
I didn't
only
nominate it, man.
reason
All right.
the only reason why I know the Tree of Life is because I had to watch it for directing class, second year of grad school.
oh my God.
Oh, George, did you go to film school?
First year of grad school, excuse me. Yes, I did go to film school. I haven't brought that up in about an hour.
What,
Yep.
George?
Why aren't you hosting this podcast then?
Good question, man. I'm just sitting
Yeah.
here watching my New York sports teams.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to guest host sometime, we'd love to have you back.
Appreciate it. You should
Yeah.
come on the battery sometime.
No, yeah. No, I would love that.
I mean, you've
I mean,
got
I
you've
don't,
got the logo of this show already, but
yeah, no, I don't, I don't know a ton about lacrosse or, it is lacrosse, right?
I don't know. It's about cannons,
Okay. Oh, I
like
mean, I
Civil
also,
War.
yeah, I love American history as well. Cool. All
Okay.
right. If I remember correctly, this next question is a true or false. So 50-50 shot.
Oh.
True or false, there is more time, like years between release, of Top Gun and its sequel than Blade Runner and its sequel. So Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick, and then Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. Is there more time between which series of movies? So true if you think the gap between the Top Guns is more, and false if you think the gap between the Blade Runners is more. So kind of hit multiple of your favorite movies here. Once I saw the long gaps between both of these series, I knew I had to bring that up.
So true if
Ben
it's
really
Top
straining.
Gun. True if it's Top
One
Gun.
more.
False if it's Blade Runner.
Correct. Ben said the name of one of the movies, but I'll accept the intent.
Wait, what?
You were supposed to say true or false, but I'm gonna
There is more time between. Okay, all right, yes.
yeah, I could have asked it, is there more time between which of these movies? But
there you go.
yeah. All right, got all right. Raise your glasses. This is a social. You all got that it was true. Only by a year, however. So 36 years between
Oh,
the
that's
Top
been
Guns,
insane.
35 between the Blade Runners. So that is
I knew
now
Blade Runner by heart, and I
I knew
knew
Top
Top
Gun
Gun was
and Blade Runner by
80,
heart.
86.
yep.
And I kind of just thought, I actually thought that Maverick was released not in 2022. I thought it was a little bit later, but
I thought so as well.
It kind of
I was
feels like a 23 release, but also
Yeah,
23 was Barbenheimer, so it wouldn't have come out right before Barbenheimer.
that's
Unlike
yeah,
Mission
that's
Impossible.
true.
Yeah, it came out what winter of 22, right? Like
No,
Christmas.
it was like Memorial
no.
Day.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Kicked off the
Yeah.
summer.
it was
Yeah,
the
that
like the
makes sense.
Mission
Summer
Impossible
blockbuster.
slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think that was the Mission Impossible slot. I think that's when one of them
Probably.
was supposed to be released.
Dead
And
Reckoning.
Top Gun. Yeah, yeah,
And it got bumped
Yeah.
back a year.
yeah,
And Final Reckoning got bumped back 2 years.
yeah.
Okay. So, scores, the gaps between the scores stay consistent there. You all get it right. George is at five, Max and Ben are at three apiece. And we move on to question seven.
Hmm.
Tom Hardy, I have to ask about this movie every time. Tom Hardy turned down a role in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter due to scheduling conflicts with what movie?
Yet.
Um, I could have been nice and told you what year Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter came out, but I decided not to because I didn't want to include the years for all of these movies.
I'm
Except,
just kind of assuming, but I don't know.
I'm making a
you know,
guess here. I'm guessing.
you know what happens when you assume, Ben. Better to guess, like George.
Oh, I should guess.
Not
Sorry.
assumed.
Sorry, I'm guessing. I'm not assuming anything.
There you go. Yeah, good save. Nice.
Quality work, Benjamin.
Yep.
I'm guessing the time frame.
All right. All our answers are in. We've stuck back to the original formula. Two, three of you got it right. The answer is The Dark Knight Rises. So that is six for George, four for Max, and Ben is still at three. Ben put Mad Max Fury Road, which I think also came out around the same time, but didn't overlap with. And I mean,
You mean it wasn't This Means War?
What was that?
it was
I
not.
think Tom Hardy
That
made
was
the
later.
right choice.
I don't know. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter has a lot of staying power, at least on this
Think
podcast.
about his portrayal of Bane.
My name is Ben.
I
You
mean,
think you
wouldn't
were born in the darkness.
I think that character would have been right at home in the world of 1860s America. All right. So yeah, again, Georgia at six, Max at four, Ben at three, and we are on to question eight.
Oh, you
How
have
many
six.
Marvel Comics movies have won a Golden Raspberry for Worst Picture? This is not specifically movies in the MCU, for clarification.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I think Thor the Dark
Marvel.
World could have. Not saying it did or not, but yeah, how many Marvel Comics movies have won a Golden Raspberry for Worst Picture?
Gotta
Another
think
way to
about how
think about
long
it
the
is,
Razzies have been around.
yeah. Um, so these are movies based on a character who has appeared in Marvel Comics. Some of which, of course, might include characters from the beloved MCU, but might not. I will not confess or admit to anything, trying not to give hints, but also need to stall for time to fill the air. It's tough being I don't know, being a radio person. Not that that's what I am, but they have to talk for hours. I don't know
Video
how
killed the
Stephen
radio
A. Smith
star.
does it. Yeah. Really, really makes you respect Stephen A. Smith in a different way.
All right. Oh, he's going.
I think you mean
All
the
right.
48th president of the United States, Stephen A. Smith.
Um, that I'm not. It's not film trivia, so I'm not gonna give an answer to that. One way or the other. Unfortunately, this is an anti-social as well. Two of you were one off in opposite directions. The correct answer is three.
No!
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
I
And
forgot
this
about
was
the Fantastic Four.
How did they
the
not give it to Morbius? What else was worse
How
than
did they
that?
not give it to like Elektra or like Spider-Man 3?
Alexa's pretty bad.
Spider. I mean,
And why was it
Spider-Man
the
3 was not.
Fantastic Four and not the Rise of the Silver Surfer? That one was definitely worse.
No, it's
this
the
was
Miles Teller.
Fantastic Four was the really
this is
bad one, the
the
2015 one.
Right,
yeah,
right.
And
2015.
Four Stick.
No, yeah,
Yep.
that one
Yes.
is really fucking bad.
Yeah, I have not
so
seen it
bad.
because it looks really bad.
It's so bad.
I'm gonna watch it before First Steps, and I'm gonna hate every second of
Oh,
it.
God.
By the way, one of these films is directed by George Lucas. Can you tell me which?
Howard the Duck.
Yeah. Is he the same species as Yoda? Is he in that Galactic Senate scene in
He is a puppet in
Probably
the
fucking
movie.
ET is.
yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know whether
so
it was a
no
Muppet.
points for that. We stay at 6-4.
I was gonna guess three, and then was like, wait a minute. Sony produced so many bad movies. There must be another one in there.
Yeah.
Why I went with six. I was like, there's got to be a
Honestly,
bunch of them.
six could have won. Like
Yeah. Morbius for sure.
Like, there's
Multiple
you
got to be a
got
Fantastic
bunch.
three
Fours.
Venoms to choose
Venom, Let
from.
There Be Carnage.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
How did that not win? I guess
I'm
Madam Web was there
I'm
too.
just shocked by Morbius.
Yeah, if Venom Let There Be Carnage came out the same year as Madam Web, like yeah, they both deserve, but one of them deserves it.
But
Okay.
Madam Web is so
Morbius
bad.
should have been up there. It
Yeah.
should have.
Okay. Max, I want to say you are at your score prediction for the start of the game, and we're
I
at the
told
halfway point.
you. I told
Yeah.
you. I'm nothing if
I don't
not honest about
wait.
it.
I don't think I still have three.
Yeah. But Max's prediction was 4, and you've got 8 more questions to exceed that. So I do like your chances of
Okay, all
I do
right.
now. I do.
yeah. I'm glad these are not impossible questions for you all. Although this one was tough, you guys should do a Razzie um nomination episode probably.
We did a
Um,
Uh
0% on Rotten Tomatoes. We did
Well,
Staying Alive.
oh
yeah.
yeah.
that was like one of our like first 10 episodes somewhere in there.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was real bad.
That was a bad movie. I just
Yeah.
saw a
Yeah.
clip from it on Twitter earlier today where John Travolta bumps into Sly Stallone in character as Rocky. Just walking down the street and he bumps into somebody and they turn around and it's fucking Sly Stallone.
God, I love him.
Well, he
Such
directed
an
the movie,
amazing
so he's gonna
actor.
throw himself in there.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, he directed the movie. And he threw
All
his
right.
brother in there for the soundtrack.
0%.
Yeah. All right. On to the latter half of the questions here. I believe this is question 9. I kind of wish I numbered them, but just in case they're also raw. All right. Despite being set entirely in Tennessee and Georgia, Cocaine Bear was filmed entirely in what European country? I was surprised at how common this was of movies set like in a very specific place that were filmed in different countries. Not just like
That
soundstage in
that
LA.
happens all the time.
Yeah, I know, but some places just feel so. I don't know, because Georgia is a very common place for studios to film. Nice answer, George.
Thank you.
Not saying it's right or not.
I I'm taking a shot here.
Yeah, I understand your logic.
What a
Uh,
movie, Cocaine Bear.
yeah, just as much as I understand these giant Sour Patch. You know how it's really professional and great for audio to eat while you're hosting something?
Yeah, I eat on every episode.
All right, 2 or 3 answers. Okay, 3 answers are in. Ben coming in, making it a game. The only one to get this question right.
Oh,
The answer is Ireland.
I knew they filmed stuff there. I remember visiting there and seeing the whatever it was that where
The
the
Cocaine Bear Castle?
no, but they shot Star Wars the Last Jedi there, for
Hmm.
Luke's like
Oh,
habitat.
the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
But I remember there were a lot of tourists. Uh, I can't believe I got that right.
Yeah.
Max, what did you guess?
Austria.
I said Germany. I was thinking forests and also Aidan.
Yeah. Um,
Ireland's got a lot of forests.
Apparently.
yeah. Not as many as it used to have, but enough to be Cocaine Bear. Which is a very, 2 very distinct accents that really do not have a lot in common. This is another fun bit of
Tennessee and George.
history trivia, is that back before the Americas and Eurasia split apart, the Appalachians and then the mountains up in Scotland and Ireland were the same mountain range. So people from Scotland and Ireland and England emigrating over to the US, a lot of them settled in Appalachia because it seemed familiar to them because it was actually the same mountains just from millions of years ago.
True.
A little bit of trivia that you guys can throw out the next time mountains come up in conversation at your places of work.
It's a convenient topic, so
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't had a conversation not about mountains all day today.
Right? Yeah. Sandra Clegane, am I right? Okay. Question 10, if I'm counting correctly. Oppenheimer is Christopher Nolan's longest film at 180 minutes. Which of his movies did it surpass to become his longest film?
it's
Not which one felt longest, which one was actually the longest, or second longest now.
Which one did feel the longest?
If my guess is right, I don't like you for this.
If your guess is right, why would you not like it?
I don't know. Just a gut feeling I have.
Yeah, let me I'm gonna because you didn't oh actually no, I can't do that now. Oops, we're
Oh,
gonna
I got the answer, guys. He's ruined it.
Well, I got it wrong.
whoops. Yeah, didn't think about that. Okay. We're just gonna assume Max got his answer in time. Um that does make things a little bit closer. As you all saw, the answer is Interstellar. Which is yeah, 2 hours and 49
49.
minutes. Yeah.
I
So
remember that movie was
To be
long.
fair, I guess Dark Knight Rises, which is why I said I wouldn't like you for
yeah,
Oh,
doing that as a
In
second
the
answer.
I think
moment,
that movie's like 2.5 or something.
It's like
yeah,
240.
yeah.
that's
Aiden, when you said not movie that didn't feel the longest, but is actually the longest, you changed my guess from Tenet to
yeah.
And
Interstellar.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises is 244, so only 5 minutes shorter.
wow.
Yeah, I should
Damn.
have. Yeah, that was a bit of unprofessionalism for me. I'm kind of telling you the
It's
answer was
whatever.
and
Eh.
but after out of what this is 182 episodes of hosting this podcast, you really I should have had this thing nailed down a little bit more.
Yeah, I just can't believe you.
Hey, this is
You'd be
only
so
what the
ill
the
prepared.
fifth time we've done trivia? Fourth time? Fifth time?
That's true, but it's I've been in this community too long to make a mistake like that. I'll be staying in the slideshow view until we're done here. All right. Anyway, that does, however, make the score 6 for George and then 5 each for Ben and Max. So
Ooh,
we do have a much tighter game now than we did a
we're
couple
coming
questions.
back.
Yep, the second half comeback from Ben. It has already started, rather. It is underway. All right. Would love for some late drama here. Okay, next question. Barbie became the highest grossing movie based on a toy. What toy did it surpass? So you don't need to tell me which specific movie, just the toy that's made a lot of money. Although, yeah, see, movie, well,
Okay.
so Barbie is one specific movie. Um, this particular toy may or may not have multiple movies, but there is a single movie that was the highest grossing movie based on a toy. Barbie surpassed that. Barbie did not surpass like an entire franchises. Like it didn't surpass all of, I don't know. I don't want to say a toy movie to give it away. Didn't surpass all of Mission Impossible, for example. I think you all understand what I mean.
Yes.
Ethan Hunt
Well,
action figure.
wow. Ben said Interstellar again. That's okay. We got 2 answers in. Updating scores as needed. And we are waiting for one more.
All right, so I'm saying the toy name or the
Yeah.
The toy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, all right. 3 great guesses. However, only one of you is right, and it's the one I didn't want to be right. The correct answer is Transformers.
You're a dick.
No!
You're a
How did I
dick.
forget about Transformers?
Yeah, I believe specifically it was oh shoot, I don't remember which movie it was in particular now. One of the bad ones though, not like
It was probably like Dark of the Moon or something.
Of course
yeah,
it was.
Some
which yes, I
garbage.
have gone to see them all in theaters, so I'm part of the problem.
I thought the Lego movie did really well.
It did, just not.
Why didn't more people go see the Lego movie?
Yeah, more people should have. Yeah, and then Max said Battleship, which is also a good guess, but was such a. I did not see that movie because it
That's
did.
out there.
Yeah.
I would have never thought about
An
that.
interesting guess.
Okay, so
I
this
think it was made by the same people that made Transformers, though.
It's a
Hasbro, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Hasbro.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are at now 7 for George, 5 each for Max and Ben. Still anyone's game with, I've lost track of how many questions we are at now.
I don't know,
I
4 or
think
5
coming
left.
up is question 11.
I think this is question 11, so we're at 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 5 left.
Man, I wish I numbered these. Okay. Anyway, what is the highest grossing non-Disney animated film?
Non-Disney.
Disney.
Animated? Okay.
Yes. Not the highest grossing film, because obviously we all know that one is Morbius.
Question, clarifier.
Yep.
Are we counting mocap as animated?
No.
Oh, motion.
So like Avatar wouldn't be the answer here.
No, that's
Correct.
not
Because there are real human
animation.
people who appear in
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Right.
That would be a very tricky question. So, yes, I will tell you the answer is not Avatar or Avatar: The Way of Water or Avatar: The Last Airbender. Though
Sure about that?
it's a worse movie but a better TV show than both of those. If we're counting the cartoon, the live action TV show, definitely not. All right, we got two answers in. Updating scores. And we got our third answer in. George, I am very sorry to trick you like this. You said the Minions movie. That was the highest grossing non-Disney movie within a certain time range. However, the Super Mario Brothers movie surpassed it.
That movie made stupid amounts of money. They keep referencing it in the studio.
Yeah, and the reason that I say I tricked George was because at trivia a month or so ago, one of our final questions was the highest grossing non-Disney animated movie from like the 2010s, and the answer to that one was Minions.
I'm sure Minions made like $1 billion.
You planted that in my head a month ago for the sole purpose.
I didn't know I was hosting this a month ago. I mean, yes, obviously I planned stuff out for this podcast a little bit in advance,
This is
but I
when
did not
being a
write the
hater,
questions.
being a hater really counts because I remember reading that and being like, "This is stupid. This is dumb. We should feel ashamed that this happened."
Yeah, it was
We all
not.
contributed to that. We all saw it in
I
theaters.
know. I didn't enjoy it.
I saw it on Netflix like an adult.
It's like Minecraft. Minecraft will be there too, except that's live action.
Oh, definitely.
Chicken
Uh,
jockey.
it's culturally an animated movie though.
It is culture.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa's hair is animated in that movie.
That tracks.
I haven't
It's
seen
also
it.
like 43, and his best friend is a 12-year-old, so that's a little sketchy.
I'm very excited for Fast X Part 2 starring Jason Momoa.
Is
Fast X.
10 part 2, is that what they're onto now?
Yeah. Which is
There-
going to be, believe it or not, the 12th movie in the franchise.
I think
There's
they're gonna
no
start
film
switching
brand.
to letters like Apple did with the iPhone.
Yeah, dude, math teachers must hate Fast and Furious. Like nothing. Like how are we supposed to teach our kids when this exists in the world?
I've seen the first 7, and only 1.5 of them is good.
1.5.
1.5.
Which one's the half?
Fast and Furious 6 is like pretty good. Fast 5 is great.
Wait. Have you seen which one is it? Tokyo Drift?
That's 3, I think, which
That's
does
the
not have
third
a-
one. I didn't
That's-
love it.
That's the best one.
A lot of people say that. I didn't get it. I didn't get the hype. It was
You
fine.
just-
I just
You're
didn't
just
like it.
not in the know.
Yeah. Have you not seen Cars? Don't you know
Forget
how
about
cool
it.
drifting is?
Oh yeah.
All right. We are going to go on now to question, I think, 13 with the score yet again. George with 7 and right behind him with 6, Max and Ben.
That's why I
So-
needed my cushion from my last answer.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, if George hadn't gotten that bonus question, he would be you would be a tie across
I
the
can't
board.
believe you watched The Tree of Life. I would have never guessed you would have watched that movie. It's so annoying to me.
It's a beautiful film.
It's a really
Absolutely.
good film.
Gorgeous film.
I didn't even realize it actually got nominated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, clearly it did.
Film school paying off in film trivia.
Thank goodness this is such a lucrative career for you.
This
all
is
right,
why this episode of the pod is why I went to film school.
Yeah, that really means, as someone who's been grinding on this podcast for a long time, that really means a lot to me. All right, on to the next question, which I think is 13. Which three Oscar winners act in Killers of the Flower Moon? I will say not
Oh, just that they won Oscars?
that they have won Oscars in their lives,
Oh,
does
okay,
not
all right.
necessarily mean they won the Oscar before, um, yeah, before the movie. So they weren't necessarily billed in the trailer and promos as Oscar winner, blah blah blah. And I do actually have to open these texts because they're
It's part of the game, man.
yeah, well, because they're longer than just a couple words. So we do need three names here. And I think, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this question. This was a pretty common bit of trivia that I saw about movies was, how many Oscar winners and nominees have been in.
Remember when we all thought that this was going to be a serious challenger to Oppenheimer at the Oscars?
Um,
I
so,
think he won. I think he won.
um, I no, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with this. Um, actually, no.
Do we get a
So
point per right one if we get like parts of them?
no, what I want to say for clarification is people who have won Oscars for acting,
Oh,
who have acted. Um, yeah. So if
Oh,
if your
well,
answer included
I
someone who's perhaps more famous
I
for
actually
non-acting,
didn't I actually didn't think about that, but yeah, that's a good clarification.
yeah,
that's not how I approached the question.
yeah. So George, I want to give you a chance to amend your answer if you feel that it is necessary.
It is necessary.
So we'll stall for a little time
Give me a second here.
because I want
Based on
to
the way the question is phrased, I know I'm right with my original answer.
I
Well,
suppose technically.
yeah,
Uh,
I didn't even think about that. I just assumed acting Oscars.
yeah. So I'll give George a little bit of time here.
I feel that it's not a spoiler to say that Martin Scorsese directed the movie.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yeah. So
he
Martin
appears in the
Scorsese,
epilogue.
Yeah,
yeah, he has a small role, and of course has won an Oscar for directing. But
it died. It took them like 40 years or whatever, but they got it.
and was filmed in New York because filming in Boston was logistically too difficult, which makes me really sad.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think the culture of Southie really could have helped make that movie.
Yeah, but you got two Boston boys and Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg. Mark himself.
No, yeah, I mean, of course, I'm not complaining about our cultural representation in that film. I just feel like it could have been a little bit more, more authentic if you actually had, if you were in Chinatown or downtown Crossing or I mean, even Boston Common. And of course, I mean, Southie. I mean, that's like where the whole
George
action should really be
Gainesville.
taking place. Um, all right. So George has given us an answer. I'll drop the accent now. Two of the three you all had, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro. That third actor who was the tricky bit, did not win his Oscar, I believe, until after this movie came out, and that man is Brendan Fraser,
The Whale.
the whale. So that means we are all tied up at 7.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah. Now I think I remember. I don't want to go exit no, I don't want to exit the view here and give away the answer. But as I mentioned at the beginning, I am somewhat of a lacrosse fan and did an episode of Premier Lacrosse League Price is Right a week or two ago. And so I decided that it might be fun if I included one of the questions from that and this, just to see, you know, give you guys a little bonus if you maybe watch that video or
This is the lacrosse
uh-oh.
question. Oh my God. If one of us gets it right, I think we should take points away. Clearly not serious enough about movies, but they're watching
So
lacrosse.
it is going to be Price is Right style. So
God.
the answer is going to be a number, and you just got to be the closest without going over.
Okay.
And I will feel real silly if there's one more movie question in between now and then. Now you guys know that's
51,
coming after
All
this one.
that. All that.
64, uh,
All right.
12.
No, we'll do this one first because that's how I wrote it. Clearly, I my counting skills are not super great at the moment. So the Burbank family house in The Power of the Dog was based on the summer home of which U.S. president? We'll say, as a reminder, that movie set in the 1920s, so I don't feel like it's too much of a hint, but just a reminder to say that this would be a president who was president during or before the 1920s, not based on Barack Obama's summer home, for example, on Nantucket.
I don't know about that. I think Obama's the right answer.
It
What do you think Benedict Cumberbatch's character in The Power of the Dog would have thought about Barack Obama as president?
I think he might kill himself or try to kill the president.
the president in the 1920s or Barack Obama?
Barack Obama.
Okay, yeah. So we got two answers, and we are waiting on one necessarily. I will say, as another fun bit of trivia, it is the director of this movie, and as whose name I cannot remember, Jessica Campion,
Yeah.
Jane
Yeah.
Campion.
Campion, and Kirsten Dunst's birthday today, the day we're recording this, April 30th.
It's Jane Campion.
Jane
Jane
Campion.
Campion, yep,
Happy
Jane Campion.
birthday.
So happy birthday to Kirsten Dunst and Jane Campion. And the third answer is in. Stuck to tradition here. Two of the three of you got it right. The correct answer is Teddy Roosevelt.
No, fuck. No, not.
So George and Ben are tied at 8, Max at 7, with 2 questions to go. So the next one, I'm 99% sure is the lacrosse one, and then we have one more movie question, and then if we're tied, we'll do a tiebreaker. Okay. Again, Price is Right, so closest without going over. If you get it
Okay.
exactly right, I will give you 2 points.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
How many people took a face-off in the first year of the Premier Lacrosse League, regular season and postseason? That year was 2019. I'll also give you a small bit of context as well. There were 6 teams in the league that year. And
Can you tell us how many games?
sure, yeah, it's a 10-game regular season.
Okay.
And then there was the playoff structure was a little complicated, but every team but one, I think, played at least 2 playoff games because they did like the teams that didn't make the playoffs played for the number 1 overall draft pick thing.
Okay.
But this is individual players, right?
Yes, individual players, not like how many face-offs did they take?
You said there's 6 teams?
There were
Or
6
there were 6
teams.
teams?
Yeah, 6 teams in the league at that year. I don't know how much you know about how lacrosse teams generally work at that. How face-offs are divvied up, or I assume you don't know the PLL specific face-off rules, which have since been adopted by the NCAA.
I do not.
Okay.
That's a good bet. That's a good bet.
I'm actually going to pull up the more information I wrote about this one because I think the answer is there's some fun little bits about that. There we go. All right, we got one answer in, and this is funny that I really don't know who is going to be the closest
So-
until you answer.
Only the closest person will get a point here.
That's right. I mean, if two of you said the same number and it was under the correct answer, you would both get a point. But that is unlikely,
Gentlemen,
given the
under
way
protest, let's all say the same number.
well, two of you have already answered and you
I've
answered differently.
already put in my answer, so that's a little too late.
Yeah,
Unless you guessed the same thing.
you didn't.
Okay.
Ooh, wow. Okay. So, um, let me update the score here real quick. George, you said 9. Max, you said 18. Ben, you said 113. The correct answer is 34.
Oh, let's go.
I was close too. Just if you
Yeah.
multiply a few
Um,
times.
so just a little bit more fun stats about that. So there were 29 different people who took a face-off in the regular season, and there were 5 people who only took a face-off in a playoff game. Um, one of
I
those people is
really
a guy named Austin Henningsen. This was his only career game, was
Maybe.
this random 2019 playoff game, which this team lost. And then there's this other guy, Brett Hyken. This was his only game in the Premier Lacrosse League. He had previously played in Major League Lacrosse a few years before, and was presumably because of injury or something called up to play one random game in 2019. Um, yeah, for small context, each team does designate a face-off player, so it's their job to take and win face-offs. But if they commit a
Bogo.
yep, if they move early or something, they're not allowed to take the next face-off. So that does lead to a lot of other people taking face-offs during the course of a season. And of course, injuries and stuff can play a factor as well. So that means we are tied up at 8s across the board going into the final question. You could not script it any better.
And we did.
That's a film school for, right, George?
Yeah, to be tied with
Yeah.
these two jabronis.
Yep. No, I meant to script trivia games.
Oh,
yeah, the screenwriting class.
Yep.
They're all coming together.
shout out
Yeah,
Bill.
I
Love you,
mean,
Bill.
yeah. So, just a reminder of what's at stake here. We have one final question coming up. If only one person gets it right, that person's the winner. If multiple people get it right, I do have a tiebreaker question prepared, and that will be one that I'll only allow one person to get a point for. So here we go into our final question. Monkey Man was originally going straight to Netflix until who bought the distribution rights? I will say this is the name of a person, not the name of a company, or a person's name is what I'm looking for.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was about to say I think I know, but
I'll
this
also
is
say the
easy.
answer isn't Dev Patel.
Oh shit.
He got a new movie that got picked up
He did.
recently.
Forget what it was. Also, Charlie Cox is in one of the best rated games of all time. Apparently giving a great performance.
Best rated games, like video games?
Yeah, it's a thing called Expedition 33
Daredevil?
or something. No, he did like motion capture for it.
He's blind
But
now.
Oh yeah, the new game, right, Ben?
yeah, it's gotten
Yeah.
like crazy good
Don't know
reviews.
here
It was
about
made
this.
by like 30 people. I gotta try it, even though I hate turn-based games.
Okay. Wow. All right. Final question. You all gave the same answer, which is the correct answer.
Ah,
Jordan Peele.
George, you should have said someone else.
Well, until he said a person, I was gonna guess like Warner Brothers or Universal or something.
Ah, fuck.
I hadn't thought of that until I read the question out loud. And yeah, I didn't want you guys to
I
get tripped
could
up
have
on
guessed his company too. It's Monkey
Monkey
Paw.
I
Paw.
feel like if someone had said his company, that should count the same as saying
Yeah.
Jordan Peele.
I agree.
And I think
Yeah.
we all know Monkey Paw Productions.
Yeah.
I didn't. Which, from the longtime host of a podcast like this, you would expect better.
Inexcusable, Aidan.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta hold myself to a higher standard. You guys are really calling me out, and I appreciate that. Okay.
Now I need a tiebreaker. Oh, this is
So I'm
terrible.
really glad I wrote this question. I did not, props to all of you. You all finished above 50%.
Go, guys.
Proud of us.
Yeah, George. Well, George did get the bonus question, so technically George finished at 50%. But I did also trick him by
Okay.
asking a question that I was almost certain he would get wrong.
Should we should like disqualify him just because of that.
I felt really foolish for getting Interstellar wrong when I said Dark Knight Rises for Nolan's longest movie before Oppenheimer.
Honestly, that's not that apparently they're 5 minutes
Mm.
apart, so
It's
I
not a bad
I
guess.
should have because I just saw Interstellar in theaters a couple months ago.
they're
That
both
Maybe
pretty
did you
long.
have a stopwatch on you during the movie
Yeah,
and you were
I
timing
couldn't
No,
it?
tell
but when
you.
you're buying the
Okay.
ticket to see the movie, it says what the runtime is.
You actually look at the ticket? I buy it online now.
No, on Fandango it says, Interstellar re-release, whatever, 2 hours
Oh
49
yeah,
minutes.
but I never remember like exactly what it is.
All
Besides
right,
that, you have
I'm
the
weird with
Dark
movie
Knight
times.
Rises. I don't know. It's I think that's a pretty easy mistake to make.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I hope the
um,
Odyssey is like 4 hours long.
It's gonna be 3 hours something. I
Tight.
it's gotta be long.
Give us an
okay.
intermission.
Speaking of long, um, your
Brutalist.
your tiebreaker question is not about the Brutalist.
Oh,
It is about this very show, which I've so lovingly cared for these past however many years it's been.
Almost four.
Okay.
Um, how many views does the most watched Film Bros video, like episode of the podcast, have? I'll say not Price is Right rules for this, so just
Just close. Okay.
closest, no matter whether it's above or below. And again, if two of you say the same number or a number that's the same distance apart, I guess I will need to come up with a second tiebreaker. I'm probably just going to ask another PLO question, I'll be honest. So one of you guys get it right.
I feel like this is going to
and we're
insult
saying
us.
the number of views,
The
correct?
number of views, yeah.
Okay.
Um, no, I'm not going to ask a bonus question or bonus point, but if you want to guess the episode, you can. But just think about the number of views.
Do
No,
I get a bonus point if I can guess it?
I mean, that might, if you guess the episode somehow and don't get and aren't closest on views, that might lead to a second tiebreaker. So I'm going to say no.
Okay, all right,
I
fair
would
enough.
love for this to be the final question.
I actually don't even remember what the title was, so
Oh, no, I would just say the episode about blank movie would be like the Friends style title.
The one about
Yeah.
the one with the
Yeah. Um, I was a little hesitant because I feel like George might have a slight answer, a slight edge, just given that George and our um, we got two answers in. You're waiting on one. There we go.
George, you better get it wrong. I don't know if I'm right, but you better get it wrong.
All right, all three answers are in. George, it's not Price is Right, so it doesn't really matter if I read them lowest to highest, but I will. George said 140. Max said 165. Ben says 276. Max got it exactly right.
What?
I texted him and assumed he was cheating, but I didn't think he would be able to look through 181 videos that fast.
Wait, what was his answer?
165.
165.
Oh,
What episode
I
was that?
thought
That is the episode about Bullet Train.
really.
Oh yeah, I knew that one.
Oh, was it?
That one had the most or close to the most
Oh,
Was
views.
it
see, I
just
had in
about?
my mind the No Time to Die episode because I remember George, you texted us and you were like, "Holy shit, we were at like 140 or something really early on."
There was
Yeah, that
a
one
so
that one picked up
your
quickly.
first episode has 142, and I thought that was gonna be it because all the ones in between, um,
Wait,
you
how
know,
much did the Oscar prediction episode get?
Ben, when we
uh,
did the first time you and I did a mini-sode on the Oscar nominees, I think that was like our first winter. That one
Yeah.
got a lot of views, but it wasn't like an official episode of the pod.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
haven't broken 200 yet.
It's
Yeah,
all right.
I
We're
would.
building up. We're building up.
I did
I'm
not
gonna go
understand the
watch. I'm
question.
gonna go watch that one 40 times tonight. I'm gonna get it
Well,
up to
regardless,
200.
Max guessed the exact amount, so I don't think I would win regardless.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Well done.
I
Max
I'm
doesn't
glad I
win
got to be a
for
part
that.
of it. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I guess Max, if you were cheating, you probably wouldn't have guessed the exact number.
I did not cheat.
That's
No.
that's what you would think.
Um, it's also yeah, I'm trying to. I don't remember what number episode that was. I think I've passed it in this view
That's
here.
why I
It was
guess
the
so high.
first summer, so it was like in the 40s.
Yeah, I think it's episode
Oh,
43.
But
Uh,
our
yes,
highest viewed,
165. Yep.
our highest viewed video is probably still that Oscar predictions one.
Probably.
Because I
Um,
remember that got like 220 plus views when I saw it like on that, I don't know, a day after, a few days after.
I don't know. The
I haven't checked
no,
it in a
our
while.
most viewed video on the channel is Putt Putt,
hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
the Academy Award noms has 246. So,
and
mm.
Putt Putt has 484.
yeah. Um,
but
We
yeah, I was not
we
considering
sit
Putt.
around like 45 to 70.
yeah. Okay, so that makes Max our winner. So Max will get to pick
Mm.
one of his favorite films. The next point in the rotation. I don't have the schedule in front of me, so I couldn't tell you exactly when that's going to be. Um,
I don't know either.
yeah.
That would be
But
the episode that we publish on. Give me a second. That'll be our June 27th episode.
okay. So something to look forward to at that summer heat, that 4th of July. I don't know, Max, is it going to be Independence Day? Maybe just stick with the season.
I think we have to do Independence Day, gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
It's a fun movie, but it's up to you. You don't have to decide that
I
now.
don't know.
And then next week we'll be back without trivia for Thunderbolts Asterisks, the latest installment of the ever decreasing in quality MCU.
Not this time though.
Apparently, Thunderbolts is supposed to be great.
That's what I've
That
heard.
can't be right.
I've heard really good things. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to coming back on this pod and talking with the three of you about it. And if I'm not back next week, that means something terrible has happened to me. But I know these three will carry on in my absence. So thank you for playing along. Let us know what score you would have gotten in the comments below. Um, Subscribe and keep hitting refresh so this becomes our new most watched video. Um, Congrats to Max for the poll of the century.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
That
you.
was electric.
Yeah.
That was.
And and we'll see you next week, Karen.
Good
Have a good night.
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 Good night.